Hey guys, what's going on? It's Space Cowboy. Welcome back to the channel. And today we will be doing the preview for the game between the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also hit the notification bell to get notified when I post new content. Make sure that those notifications are set to all. YouTube is becoming, a more harder to kind of find content from what I've been seeing. So please make sure to do that so you're notified when you get my stuff. So with all that being said, we have a huge game against the Patriots this Sunday. 4:25, America's Game of the Week, all that other stuff. This is huge for the Cowboys because this can really shift public opinion and also my personal opinion on the team, because I feel like this game, and depending on how the game goes, will really give me an honest assessment of where I think this team is. And what do I mean by that? So if the Cowboys were to go into Foxborough, pull off the upset, I think that you would look at it and you'd probably say to yourself, okay, the Cowboys are a contending team, because I feel like it has the same ramifications of a Seahawks game in 2014 and like a New Orleans Saints game in 2018, where it's like, this is the game that really shows that the Cowboys are a legit team and you just can't take them lightly. And typically Dallas, usually shows up for these kinds of games where they're underdogs, especially by huge margins. The line, I believe, was 6.5. New England was favored, and that's just I think that's way too high. If they're gonna win, I have a feeling that it's gonna come down to the wire. But let's just look at this game in total, go from offense to defense, see what the Cowboys can do to try and get this victory. So the Cowboys are coming into this game with the #1 ranked offense in the league, okay? And that's mostly due to their first ranked passing attack and their 7th ranked rushing attack. People were talking about, oh, Zeke this, Zeke that, oh, Zeke isn't good anymore. Listen, guys, Zeke is going to have that game where he's going to go off. You can't expect him to keep getting that low amount of yardage. And I feel like that the Cowboys are just going with the flow. For example, in the Giants game, they were, relying on Zeke to a point, and then they let Dak do his thing when they needed him to. In the last game, 2 games against Minnesota and Detroit, we should have won the Minnesota game. We didn't, unfortunately. But they, relied on Dak because, hey, he had the hot hand. Same thing in the Detroit game. They relied on Dak because he had the hot hand. And I think that that's exactly what you got to do. You can't come into this game saying, okay, we have to just establish the run and we'll win. No, you have to do what you got to do against the Patriots. What the Patriots love to do is they love to adjust on every single drive. They're going to give you different looks, all that other stuff, right? So if I'm the Cowboys, you're probably going to expect a lot of man coverage, and they're going to dare Dak to throw on them, especially with the corners they have and all that other stuff. But another thing we need to put into perspective is that the New England Patriots haven't really played any top tier offensive teams other than the Baltimore Ravens, okay? Because you look at their schedule and you can argue that their defense has an artificially generated ranking. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like that, because you can make the argument that the Cowboys have that. But the thing is that the Cowboys have consistent offensive production. The Patriots, while they have consistent production from their defense, you look at the teams they've played, it's kind of expected, and you could say the same thing about Dallas, but I think that this game's going to tell a lot about both teams, and that's just the moral of the story for this entire game, is it's going to show a lot between the Pats and the Cowboys. Now, what does Dak Prescott have to do to win this game? Simple. Just, don't turn the ball over. Just do what he's been doing. Just play good football. On the running end of things, the Cowboys have to use the running game as efficiently as possible. And what do I mean by that? I'm not saying you run Zeke 30 times. What I'm saying is if Zeke is exploiting a weakness on the Pats defense, if he's burning them and he's running over them, you keep running with Zeke until it stops working. Tony Pollard, if he's running all over the Pats defense, you run him until it doesn't work anymore. You use Dak, make the running game as difficult as possible for the Patriots, because if you take a look at what Baltimore did, now granted, Baltimore has things that they can do, but Dallas can't. But if you use the same types of things with the zone reads, all those designed runs to keep New England off balance, I think you'll be fine. You look at the offensive line for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have allowed the least amount of sacks, a complete turnaround from last year, which is fantastic. And I think you got to keep doing that. Now, I hear that Lyle will probably play, but then I hear that he might not, and stuff about Connor Williams maybe playing. Here's the deal. I don't know a whole lot about that because they haven't really gone in depth with those players. I'm just assuming that Lyle is going to play and Connor Williams is out. But if the offensive line is more or less fully healthy and they have all the key players there, I think they'll be fine. And I think that as long as they can keep Dak upright and they can open up the run lanes, that is something that hasn't been talked about, is that the run lanes for the Cowboys have not really been open for Zeke to run through. And I think that if we can create new avenues for him to run through and allow him to get in open, you're not going to see Zeke get in open space probably as much because he's more built for durability than he is for like explosiveness at this point, I would argue. But the point is you want Zeke to churn out yardage and dominate time of possession. That's how I feel like we need to use him in the run game. In terms of the receivers and stuff like that, I think what you have to do is you have to You can't force the ball to one option. I think if Dak continues his approach from the previous games, and what do I mean by that? I mean that, hey, give the ball to whoever's there. Amari Cooper, he wasn't getting much, so you go to Gallup, you go to Cobb. Get to whoever is open. If it's Witten, if it's Jarwin, I don't care. Do what you got to do. So I think that the Cowboys they'll bring a solid plan on offense. I think they'll be fine there. I think they'll score between 20 to 28 points. I don't think they're going to go over 30 in this game. No, I don't think so. If they do, it might be at the latter part of the game. But I think that this game's going to be like a really close, I don't want to say like both teams scoring 20 points is low scoring. But when, I think that it's going to be low scoring. Not like, 30, like, 30 to 40 or something like that. You know what I mean? But going over to the defensive side of the ball, this is where the Cowboys have to truly win the game. I feel like their offense will do fine, but their defense needs to, they cannot let the Patriots get their run offense going, and you see it in the past couple of years, not the last couple of years, but the past year, and even now, you start seeing that the Cowboys have issues when they run, when teams run from, east to west. The linebackers of the Cowboys haven't been good at stopping those. But you look at what's happened this season with this defense. Statistically speaking, the Cowboys have a better defense. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but it was on Twitter. It was mentioned that the Cowboys are having a much better statistical season than last year on defense, which is fantastic. And I think that by looking at how they can do this game, okay, this is what you got to do. You have to keep the Patriots offense on the sideline. You cannot let them get in rhythm. Tom Brady thrives when he is getting into a rhythm. And people will be like, oh, he doesn't look the same. That doesn't mean that he can't do you any damage, The thing that the Eagles did, and every other team that's really kind of tried to stop the Patriots, what they've done is they try to make it as difficult as possible for Tom Brady to be comfortable. You got to get to him, and I think that the Cowboys will have a lot more success here because if you pay attention, the Cowboys have had issues with mobile quarterbacks. That's why I think they're going to have issues like with Josh Allen, and I don't want to say Trubisky because Trubisky can get mobile if needed, but I think that the Cowboys do very well against quarterbacks that are stuck in the pocket or more or less stay within the pocket and don't really scramble. That's why I think they had issues with Jeff Driscoll because he kept moving around. I think that if Tom Brady was in that game, I think that they would have gotten him like 5-6 times. So I think that if the Cowboys can bring pressure and they can get Brady to the ground and try not to get a flag, and they can disrupt the passing game or the offense in general for the Pats, they can win this game. That is where your game's going to be won. It's not going to be you scoring more points than the Pats. It's going to be you stopping the Pats on offense and giving your team opportunities. Turning the ball over is going to be extremely key in this game because the Cowboys have to start fast and they cannot lift their foot off the gas pedal. Now, that doesn't mean you have to score so many points. That means you have to score efficiently. You have to score and how do I want to word this? You want to basically run the clock out, score as many points as possible, but don't do it too quickly because You don't want to let them linger, you know. I can't speak today, but but when you look at this in totality, I think that the Cowboys special teams definitely is going to need work here, because not field goals and crap. I'm talking about like punt returns, kickoff returns, stuff like that. They have not done very well this year when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I think that if you're the Cowboys, you need to fix that stuff immediately, because that stuff can hurt you. You know, there are teams that I've seen that have not been, benefactors of having a horrific special teams unit. I'm not saying it's horrific, but they got to just do better there. Let me see. Is there anything else that I need to mention for this crucial matchup? I believe that's pretty much it. But the thing that I will say is this before I end this video. If the Cowboys lose this game, I'm not expecting, and I'll be honest, I'm not expecting a victory here. I'm being 100% honest, because it's business, man. You know, the Cowboys usually don't beat these types. They usually don't do that, you know. I just have a nervous feeling about this game, and I'm not gonna act like, oh, my high horse, oh, I told you they were gonna win. I'm not gonna be like that. If they win, cool, you know. I'm gonna be like, yeah, they proved me wrong. I didn't think they would do it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean the Cowboys can't win. I think they have the tools necessary to pull off the W, but will they? I don't freaking know. There was a situation where the flu bug was going around the Cowboys practice facility. There was a guy possibly spying on the team, which is, I don't know, maybe it was just some dude on the roof as a joke. But but with all that being said, I do believe that it's going to be a close game that Dallas just, I don't know if they'll pull it out, being 100% honest with you. But if they do, I think it really changes perspective about this team, because this is how I'm going to look at it. Dallas wins this game, they are a Super Bowl contender in my eyes, right? Because you beat one of the best teams in football, and you're kind of peaking at the right time. You would have won 4 out of your last 5 games, and you're surging. You're beginning to surge, you know, after hitting a 3-3 bump when you start with 3-0, and then you go to 3-3. And it's going to be huge, because I feel like that the Cowboys are going to need a win here, because of they immediately go and play freaking Buffalo on the Thanksgiving. So I think when you look at it, I do believe that the Cowboys getting a win here, and then if they can quickly turn around and get ready for Buffalo, and maybe they drop that one, or maybe they win that one, definitely can immediately shift public perception on this team. We can go from being like, okay, this team's going to make the playoffs, but they're going to be a one and done team, or possibly just a win in the wild card, to, oh, this team can definitely win in late January, February. You know, that's the point we're trying to get at, is can the Cowboys continue to just win? Because, you know, like I said, they were at a 3-3 at one point. Their low point being losing to the Jets. Now we're sitting at 6-4, and if we go to 7-4, I think that a lot of people are going to forget about that 3-game losing streak. I won't, but I think it's gonna make up for that, because now, you know, yeah, you should be at a better position, but at the end of the day, don't be shocked if the NFC starts to get more, jumbled together, because if the Cowboys win, and then you start seeing these teams lose to one another, Dallas could be right in the thick of things in terms of seeding. But we'll see what happens. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell to get notified when new content gets pushed out. And I will be seeing you guys later. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.
I used to live in Sin Cities like Bruce Willis, but I'm Jackie Chan, karate chopping, I'm still kicking. I used to be chopped and screwed, I'm Lil flipping. Now I'm nice, Mike Jordan, so who's pimping? I'm running man, you the running man, you still slipping. I hit records, you swinging, it's still